Hey, it's Tammy, and this is another episode of Where's the Sun? I have to say, I really hate these moments when I'm like, take off all my makeup and get in the clothes I'm going to sleep in, and then realize what I'm doing is because of the gate that we're in or the sun is in. So, these videos are based on the energy that you feel as the sun moves through the human design mandala. And the sun is actually in the gate 47. I'm going to pull up and see what line we're in, but I know it's at least a day because I was going to do a video yesterday and didn't. So now I'm wishing I did. So anyway, so the energy of the 47, I always have the 47 in my chart. So at times I will experience something that I did tonight, even if the sun isn't in the 47. But generally the 47 can be an oppressive kind of energy. It's the kind of energy that will hold you in a spot, like my mentor always said, stomping around like Rumpelstiltskin. I find when I'm dealing with the 47 that it's more like, I do things like stare at my budget and see what it's short, and then sit here and try and figure out how to make up for that shortfall. But then you realize that you may or may not be able to, and then you get angry because, if this person did what they were supposed to, or if this person helped you in this way, or if this person, lived up to their responsibilities, that you wouldn't be in this mess. And we're in the 5th line, which means there's only one more day of this. Last night it also hit me, and usually what happens is somebody who doesn't have this energy in their chart will experience the energy, and it'll feel weird. I always have this energy in my chart, so it's always been a battle in my life personally. But there are times when it is stronger, and this is one of those times. I can't say that every time the sun goes into one of my defined gates, I have the same experience, but I also know there's been a lot of solar flares and CMEs and things like that, so it could just be that it's a stronger time being in the gate. And that also can explain why sometimes you might watch a video that I do now, and then you look at one I did years ago, and I think it's like 4 years ago when I did my first one now, or more, and you see a difference in what I'm discussing or how the energy is impacting me or what I have to say as a message at that time. So this is kind of one of those times. So the energy, like I said, can be oppressive. It can be frustration. It can be anger. It can be, like I said, just going around in those circles. Confusion, looking at struggles, not knowing, like, okay, here's my struggle this time, how am I going to get through it? But there's also, in that, because you're thinking, you end up realizing that there are different ways to approach it. There's more than one way to eat an elephant. Is that how people say it? I don't even know if that's the right saying. I don't eat elephant, so I wouldn't know. But so it can get stuck in past thoughts. It can get stuck in past thinking. There's been a couple times this week in particular that I've had, I like to call them PTSD moments, when somebody does something that triggers something that happened before, or a pattern that they exhibited before, or something that you experienced with someone else before. Those kinds of things can happen. And if you don't recognize it for what it is, so if I didn't just have this brief little text conversation with a friend, and then the light went on, and it was like, oh, I'm doing this because of this energy. So thanks for kind of letting me work through it as I'm sitting here just babbling to you guys, hoping that I make sense. So it really is interesting. I'd love to hear if anybody else has been through this kind of energy this week, or has had experience with it, or, of course, if you have questions or comments or concerns, you can email me or message me on here, or hit me up on Facebook, whatever works. But what I try to take away from that 47, and what I probably didn't express really, really well is that inspiration is in there. So if anything, look back on the week and see where you could have been inspired, and think of different ways to do things. So I guess that's really it for today. Take care. I'll talk to you in a couple days.